It all started with an accident. Aboard the Vauxhall, flagship of the Gregorian Armada, a routine scan of Earth's transmissions picked up something strange. At first, Zorlak, the Gregorian communications officer, thought it was mere noise, a weak signal from a primitive planet filled with the usual garbage of an underdeveloped species. But as he refined the signal, the visual feed came into focus, and what he saw shocked him. On screen, a human was yelling. The muscular, sweat-drenched creature appeared to be torturing itself, jumping, dropping to the floor, springing back up. It barked out commands like an enraged warlord. Burpees! Push harder! No excuses! Behind him, a group of equally intense humans followed the same brutal routine, their faces contorted in a strange mix of pain and determination. Zorlak's 3 hearts skipped a beat. This had to be combat training. Intense, unforgiving, and bizarre. Supreme Commander Zorkin, Zorlak called out. Zorkin, a towering figure with 4 rippling arms, slowly turned his head, his jet-black eyes locking onto the screen. As he watched the footage, his frown deepened, 4 hands resting on his hips. His soldiers, trained in precision strikes and cybernetically enhanced techniques, had never endured anything like this. "What is this?" Zorkin asked, his voice low and dangerous. "It appears to be Earth's most advanced form of combat training, Supreme Commander," Zorlak replied, trembling slightly. "These humans are perfecting their bodies for war through self-inflicted suffering." Zorkin's eyes narrowed as he watched the human leader, now screaming about AMRAP and something called a WAD. These humans were clearly preparing for galactic conquest. He had to learn more. "Send a message to Earth," Zorkin ordered. "Invite them to the Galactic Fitness Convention. We must study their techniques." The message arrived on Earth in the most confusing of ways. A holographic invitation materialized in the middle of a CrossFit gym in Venice Beach, California. As half-naked humans swung from bars and grunted through burpees, Chad Brogan, the gym's undisputed leader, squinted at the shimmering figure in front of him. "Earth has been recognized for its advanced combat fitness," the alien said, its many eyes blinking in unison. "You are invited to share your training with the most elite warriors of the galaxy at the Galactic Fitness Convention." Chad, his man bun tied tight, nodded with grim understanding. "Bro, this is it. They finally noticed. The gains don't lie." Karen, a Zumba instructor in neon leggings who happened to be passing by, overheard the conversation. "Oh my God, are we going to space? We're totally going to space. I'll bring my boombox," she shrieked, bouncing in place as if the ground itself couldn't contain her enthusiasm. Then there was Becky, the human embodiment of abs and determination, already gulping down her 3rd protein shake of the day. "This is my moment," she whispered. "The universe needs to know about macros and lean protein." Meanwhile, Dr. Feinstein, a scientist brought in to supervise the trip, was the only one on Earth who had any clue of the real misunderstanding at hand. But as the CrossFitters and Zumba enthusiasts prepared to showcase their combat techniques, he could only sigh and hope no one died. When the humans arrived at the Interstellar Fitness Station, the hub of galactic physical advancement, they were greeted by an array of alien species that made Earth's fitness culture look like child's play. There were beings with 6 arms, races capable of running at supersonic speeds, and others with exoskeletons tougher than steel. The humans, however, swaggered in with their blender bottles and yoga mats, ready to show off their bizarre routines. Supreme Commander Zorkan himself approached the humans, his expression unreadable. "We have heard of your advanced methods. Show us how you prepare for war." Chad, already hyped up from his pre-workout supplement, clapped his hands together. "All right, let's get it. People, we're starting with a WAD. You ready, aliens?" The first demonstration began with CrossFit. Chad barked out the familiar commands. "We're going AMRAP. That's as many reps as possible. Box jumps, deadlifts, burpees. Go!" The aliens, unsure of what exactly was happening, watched in silence as the humans threw themselves into the workout, grunting and sweating profusely. Every time Chad yelled something, Zorkin and his advisors took notes. "What is AMRAP?" Zorkin whispered to his lieutenant. "It must be an Earth term for combat stances," the lieutenant replied. "Look at how they fling their bodies. They're preparing for chaotic, high-speed warfare." But it wasn't long before the aliens tried to copy the movements. The Garnox, a species of spider-like creatures with 6 legs, attempted to leap onto a box as Chad had done, only to miscalculate and crash into a wall. Another species, the Yorgs, creatures of immense size and strength, tried a burpee, but ended up collapsing, unable to push their immense bulk back to their feet. Zorkin, however, remained impressed. Their tactics are beyond us. The human body must be specially conditioned for this level of combat. Next came Karen's turn. With her boombox cranked up to maximum volume, she strutted to the center of the auditorium, smiling brightly. All right, space people, let's move! Zumba time! 1, 2, 3, 4! The aliens blinked, unsure of what was happening as Karen's infectious energy filled the room. She began dancing to the thumping bass, urging the aliens to follow along. Come on! Salsa! Shake those hips! The Scrath, a gelatinous species, tried to mimic her moves, but only ended up oozing uncontrollably across the floor, sliding dangerously close to a group of Rigorian soldiers. The Vlox, a race with 5 limbs and no discernible rhythm, attempted to shake it, but their limbs became hopelessly tangled, causing a minor brawl to break out in the back. Is this some form of dance combat? Zorkin asked, bewildered. Yes, his lieutenant nodded gravely. I believe they are fighting the air. It's a form of resistance training. The highlight of the convention came when Becky introduced the aliens to the concept of protein shakes. She explained the importance of macros in building muscle and how the right combination of supplements could fuel their warriors. This shake, Becky declared, holding up her blender bottle, has 40 grams of protein, 20 grams of carbs, and just 2 grams of fat. It's all about clean gains, people. Zorkin, his face etched with awe, immediately ordered his soldiers to consume the protein shakes. The results were catastrophic. The Garnox experienced severe digestive distress, the Vlox started emitting strange odors, and several Rigorian soldiers fainted after attempting to drink the bizarre liquid concoctions. Things went downhill fast when Zorkin tried to implement human combat fitness into his military. Rigorian soldiers, built for precise, calculated strikes, were now being forced to perform burpees and box jumps. Many simply collapsed from exhaustion. The Yorgs, with their immense strength, accidentally threw weights through walls. And the Scrath, trying to implement dance combat, started slipping uncontrollably across the battlefield, causing mass confusion. Zorkin watched in horror as his once proud army descended into chaos. His soldiers, now addicted to protein shakes, were either too bloated to fight or too weak from exhaustion to function. Meanwhile, Dr. Feinstein, the only one with a brain, tried to explain that the humans were not teaching combat techniques at all. They were just obsessed with fitness trends. But the aliens wouldn't listen. They were convinced that the humans were preparing for a form of warfare too advanced for their understanding. By the time the humans were ready to leave, they had become legends. The Rigorians and the rest of the galaxy, despite their failures to replicate human methods, had crowned Earth the ultimate fitness authority. Chad, Karen, and Becky basked in their newfound fame, completely unaware that they had just accidentally become intergalactic heroes. Before they left, Zorkin handed them another invitation. We wish to learn more about your ancient combat rituals. Perhaps something called yoga? And so Earth's fitness influencers returned home as galactic celebrities, with CrossFit gyms and Zumba classes popping up on alien worlds everywhere. Protein shakes became the hottest new trend across the galaxy, despite the fact that no species could actually digest them properly. The humans, entirely by accident, had secured their place as the galaxy's most feared and bizarrely respected warriors. And thus, the Galactic Gym membership was born.
Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more original content. New chapters and standalone stories uploaded weekly.